Hello everyone, I am Sasadu Alhakwan, Software Engineer WSO2. In this video, we are going to look at how to construct data types using query expressions in Ballerina. Query expressions can be used to construct data types. We can construct maps, tables, XML, strings, and streams using query expressions. Let's look at a few examples. I am going to show you how to construct XML using a string array. So I will define an array of strings that contains names of employees, and I'm going to show you how to construct a XML using this array, something like this. So let's start doing that. First, as usual, we will start with from clause, and I need to use the employee name list as the data source. So type from string, then define the variable. I will go with name, then the data source name. In this case, it is employees array. Now, because of I need to construct XML, I will use select clause like this. Select, then XML. So inside the backticks, I will define the XML tags. For this, I will use name tag. So inside the tags, I will type $mark following the curly brackets and then variable name. This interpolation will assign the variable value into the XML in runtime. The query expression will gather these XML values in each iteration and construct the final XML value. Let's assign the result of this query into XML variable. Now we can print the results and see how the XML has been created by the query. We can see that the XML value is constructed as we expected. Our next target is to construct a map using query expressions. For this, we will use a list of records that contains employee ID and name. For each employee, there is a unique ID. We use this unique ID as the key of the map and employee name as the value. Our target is to create a map like this. So let's start coding. As usual, we have to start with the from clause. But if we want to construct a map, you have to use the keyword map before the from clause. So type map, then the from clause. So in this case, from employee, then I will give the variable name as employee in, and then the data source. In this case, it is employees array. After that, we will add the select clause. Remember that depending on the use cases, you can add any clause after the from clause on constructing values. You can use the where statement if you need to filter something, but in here, I will simply use the select clause after the from clause. In the select statement, we need to use an array, which contains the key in the first element and the value in the second element. In this case, it is select array. First element is employee.id and the second element is employee.name. So this will create a map that contains the employee ID as the key and the employee.name as the value. So we can assign this query expression into a map with string constraint. So let's print it and we can run our Ballerina program to see the result. We can see that the map we constructed using the query is as we expected. Our next target is to construct tables using query expressions. For this task, I will use the same set of employee records that I used in the previous example. My final target is to create a table that contains above employee records as members. So let's start. As usual, we will start with the from clause. But before that, we have to use the keyword table to construct tables. After that, we have to specify the key of the table. Type key, then brackets. Inside the brackets, we have to type the field name of the table key. In this case, it is the ID of the employee which has a unique value. After that, we have to type the from clause of the query. So type from, then the data type employee and the variable name as employee and data source name as employees. Now let's add the select clause. Inside the select clause, we need to type the members in the final table. In this case, it is record with the type of employee. So select, then curly brackets. Inside the curly brackets, we have to add the fields for ID and name. We need to use employee ID as the ID and employee.name as the name. So that's it. Let's assign our query expression into a variable. Let's print the constructed table and see the result. So we can see that the constructed table is as we expected. Our next target is to construct strings using query expressions. For this, we will use an array with string characters. Our final target is to construct the string ballerina using query expression. So let's start from the from clause. Type from, then the variable type string char, then I will name the variable as char. After that in keyword, then the data source name. In this case, it is characters array. Then we simply add the select clause. So select, then the char. So after that, we assign this to a simple string variable and we print this using IOPrintln method. So let's run our Ballerina program. So you can see that it successfully constructed the string ballerina using the query expression. In this video, we discussed about how to construct data types using query expressions in Ballerina. In the next video, we will discuss about query actions.